Hey everyone, so it's officially been an entire week since Tower of Fantasy has done their official global release date across all of the nations and countries and stuff. So today I'm going to be giving an honest review on Tower of Fantasy, which is going to be a very big, in-depth video. We're going to be going over almost everything in the entire game, and of course at the end of the video I'm going to be giving it a personal score out of 10 to see if you guys will enjoy this game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, when you think of gameplay elements, the first thing that comes to your mind should be the fighting system, the controls, etc. So in terms of fighting system, you have normal attacks, you have A1, which is going to be your skill, and then you have your ultimate. Now, it took me a little bit of time to actually learn how to use these controls properly. Now, the controls do relate to a few other known open-world gacha games out there, like Genshin Impact and Honkai Impact. Those kind of games, it has the kind of same battle system in terms of there's dodging, you have stamina to dodge, as well as you have skills and ultimates. So pretty much everything stays the same in terms of that. But there is combos and different things that you could do that make the gameplay more unique, instead of just being a clicking simulator or spamming a one skill or spamming another skill or an ultimate simulator. Instead, you have different combos that you can do, heavy attacks, launch attacks, etc., where you're able to do different kind of combos and combine that with skill items, such as like a cube, or you have a jetpack and stuff like that that you can combine to do different combos with your weapons in order to do more damage. It's actually very, very, very cool how you're able to do that. So in terms of battle system and the fighting system, I think the fighting system is very, very good. It's very fun, very fluid. It rolls pretty smoothly for the most part. There is some times where the gameplay can get a little bit repetitive, but it does roll around smoothly, which I'll definitely have to give it credit for. I think the fighting system is absolutely wonderful. I wouldn't have it almost any other way. There's not really much you can do to improve it anymore. There's just little small things that maybe someone doesn't like with this weapon or this weapon, but it is mostly based on how the weapon performs. Now, speaking of weapons, back to gameplay elements. Weapons are very, very unique. Now, the weapons game in here are going to be super unique. You have shields, you have a scythe, you have a bow, you have dual blades, you have guns. Like, you have so much different options that you can use in terms of gameplay. And all of the weapons have their own unique animations. They're all different. They all have different skills. They all feel different. They all look cool. The animations are beautiful on them. I mean, look at this animation right here. Look at it, dude. Like, it's so much fun to be using these characters. Every single SSR, even SRs, feel unique in some kind of certain scenarios. Now, when I first started the game, I definitely will say that the controls were very confusing, and I've had some points where I'm literally just sitting there spamming every button on my keyboard trying to hit something or kill anything in my path, until of course I learned combos with each weapon and stuff. One thing that I did also want to add is that the AI is not the greatest technology in the world, and it has its moments.
Huh?
You guys good? So next, I want to touch on the stamina system. Now, the stamina system is going to be the vitality system, which is going to be in the top right corner of our screen, that little thing where it says new right there with the little two swords. So for the adventure tab, there is actually 4 separate tabs here. We have weekly, recommended, select, and challenge. Now, the only one that we have to worry about here is select. Now, select is going to be involving our vitality or our stamina, and that's going to be using to get some good items. So, for example, we have joint operation here, which uses 90 of our stamina, but you can do this every single day, keep in mind. And obviously, these do give good rewards, like good equipment for your armor. You also have good equipment for your weapons with the matrices and all that stuff. Just going to quickly go over the other ones. We have weekly, recommended, and challenge. Now, weekly, of course, is going to be giving you battle pass, like experience, as well as small things like type 3 chips for you can farm the mega bosses, as well as giving you coins and other items and stuff like that. So weekly, of course, is very important if you want to upgrade your battle pass level and all that. Then you have the recommended, which is basically just telling you to explore the game. You have ruins as well. Now, ruins are important. Ruins are going to be part of the game, but these do not consume stamina. So same thing for challenge. You have all these down here like training, bygone phantasm, Apex League, which is PvP, and then void rifts, but none of these also consume stamina as well. The only thing that's going to be consuming stamina is going to be the select screen. So that's all we're going to be talking about here. Now, for stamina, stamina is going to be taking quite some time to generate. As you can tell, for me to regenerate 40 stamina, it's going to be over 5 hours of waiting just to get 40 stamina back. So that is a lot of waiting I'm going to do just to get 40 stamina, but you know, it is fine because the rewards here are not much. It's not like you have to use stamina to play PvP or do Void Rifts or Bygone Phantasm or all of these other content things to do in order to kind of farm stuff. Now, if you want to farm matrices and as well as equipment, obviously doing joint operations and using your stamina is going to be the way to go. Of course, it's going to be limiting you on how much you get per day. Obviously because it's on a cooldown timer. Now, of course, you're able to just head to the store and buy it if you want to, but I highly recommend not doing that for free-to-play players unless you're a whale and you don't care. And then from there, I mean, that pretty much covers it. Stamina is, I'd say it's average. I think it regenerates 1 every 8 minutes. So yeah, the adventure tab pretty much just is most of the content in the game besides just walking around and exploring the open world. So in terms of that, I mean, I would have to say that it's not the best stamina. Most of the time that I have spent in this game has been walking around. I mean, there's so many side quests. Like, if I just press my map, I have not completed all these quests around me. And there's so many quests here that give a lot of XP that I just have not done yet. So most of the time, you'll be spending your time doing world exploration, as well as collecting boss fights from fighting, for example, Sobek, or just walking around collecting supply pods and stuff like that. That's mostly what you're going to be spending all of your time doing when you're playing this game if you have not completed or unlocked all of the map yet. So I love how badass these names are for Tower of Fantasy's bounties. We have Udian the Mass, Danger difficulty. We have Shadow of Dexterity, Sea Level difficulty, Sea Level Armored Ravager's Hunt, and then Chicken Burger. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck named that shit? Next, I want to jump into the weapons themselves and go more in depth, talk about the matrices as well as your equipment right here on your character. So of course, this is an MMO game, and it's not only just weapons that you have to pull for, you also have matrices that you can pull for, and these are going to be matrices that enhance your weapon, giving them more HP stats, as well as if you have a specific set of the same character. For example, if you have 2 of these SSR pieces, you will be getting an increased damage dealt by 14% when there are no enemies within 4 meters. So these, of course, are going to be very, very good. You want to put these on the character. Usually, what these SSR ones are meant for are going to be meant for the exact weapon that you have. So if you've put a 4-piece set, of course, if you have the Ice Wind Arrow, you get more damage. So this is specifically made for the weapon itself. And you do have to level up every weapon as well as every matrix if you want to get the maximum stats out of your equipment, as well as do more damage. One of the last things to talk about in terms of leveling up your character and making them stronger with stats is the suppressor. Now, the suppressor is going to be giving you a base stat line every time you upgrade it, and you're going to be having to upgrade it with, of course, these potent omnium crystals, which you get from ruins, you get them from terminal stories, you get them from exploration rewards, wanderer's log, level 1 cruise store, and then clearing rewards of Bygone Phantasm. And you're going to be leveling up your suppressor, which is going to be giving your character overall more stats. So you want to make sure that you are upgrading this as well, and this goes all the way up until level 7, and you'll be able to be picking up 3 Shiros for free. So if you have another one of these Shiros, you'll be able to get the 4-piece set, which is going to be very, very cool, and you'll get 1 for every level after level 4. Your stats jump up pretty high. You go from, right now I'm on suppressor level 4.1 and I have 211 attack, and if we head into suppressor level 7, I have 583, so it's literally doubling my attack, my base stats. So upgrading your suppressor is going to be, of course, extremely important to increasing your damage. And of course, getting this by exploring the game, playing the game, beating content, all that stuff. So this is one of the other things that contributes to upgrading your stats. Now, the story. I know how important the story can be to some people who enjoy playing video games, but for a game like this that is meant for an MMO multiplayer, mostly multiplayer experience, I find the story definitely to be lackluster, especially at the start of the game. When we get into later times of the game, such as when we start seeing Nemesis and all that stuff being created, the game does pick up in terms of its overall quality. However, I do think that the game does fall short at the start, and it definitely is very unimpressive at the start. It's very bland, very boring, but it does slightly pick up towards about 80% of the way through the story, up to the current point that you can reach the maximum level. Story is time-gated as well, depending on how many hours you played the game or when you started playing the game. That's how far you can progress in the story at once, and I do think this is a good way to stop players from overextending themselves and going far out of their way to beat every content as fast as they can. So able to limit that, I think, is a okay move. I know it pisses some people off, but I think it's better than having people be able to beat content all they want day one and then not having anything to do and then complaining the game has nothing to do, because there will be something to do because you're time gated, right? But the story overall, I would have to give the story like a 6 out of 10. I can't find the story that good. It's not impressive, and it only picks up in the later times when you have to worry about Nemesis and getting all those cool cutscenes with Zeke and all that stuff. But until then, it's not like an insanely engaging story. The story, I'd say, is definitely the most lackluster part of this entire game, and it definitely will bring down the score, trust me, it will. But I haven't found it to be that important to the point where I'm freaking out about the story being bad, because this game is meant to be a multiplayer MMO game. However, the story should at least be somewhat good, and it's average. I'll give it average. Now, I believe this is the best part of Tower of Fantasy, and that is going to be the multiplayer online aspect. This game, playing with other people, being able to chat to new people, being able to meet new people that are in your dedicated server, is absolutely amazing. I've met some good friends already from this game, and it's only been a week since this game came out. People have been making friends on this game. I think this game is very, very, very heavily community driven, and online, in my personal opinion, makes up for a lot of the bad aspects of the story, some of the grinding and stuff. It's much bearable knowing that there's people around you that you can collaborate with and have fun, go fight bosses, go do missions, all that stuff, bounties, whatever you want to do with them, you guys can do it together, and I think that's the best part of this entire game in my personal experience. And then you can have some scenarios where you're teamed up with about 15 to 20 people, and then you guys go fight world bosses together like Lucia, and then you just absolutely tear them to shreds, and it's so much fun to watch. Because I had a fight with Robrick one time where I had, I think, about 4 or 5 people, and that fight took me upwards of like 25 minutes. And then I have a fight with Lucia where I had like 15 people, and that fight took not even, I think, 4 or 3 minutes. It was ridiculous how fast we melted down their health bar. So the online aspect, in my personal opinion, absolutely carries this game front forward, and I think that's what makes this game stand out from games like Genshin Impact, which it is so heavily compared to for obvious reasons. But this is what makes the game stand out, is that it is way, way, way more multiplayer driven. Now, one of the other downsides to this game is that there is dedicated servers, and then there's dedicated servers in those dedicated servers that you have to keep your character on. For example, if you were to play on North America, you would need not only just a North American account, but there's also servers in that North American account where you would have to create a specific character and go from there. All your money, everything that you use will be on that one specific server, and the downside to this is you cannot carry that character over to other servers. So if your best friend or one of your friends that wants to play with you, or anyone wants to play with you, and they're on another server other than you, unfortunately, you'd have to make a new character to go play with them. Just how it is. There's over 22 different servers just for North America alone, and I want to give a big shout out to all my homies from Eternium Fantasy server. You guys are the best. I love you guys. Those are my homies out there. So it's very unfortunate how that is. I really do not like that, and I hope they're able to fix that in the future, because I know a lot of people are complaining about that. Everything that I have pointed out, the flaws, the story, how beautiful the game is, the animations, etc., all comes down to this last point, and that is the gacha system. The gacha system can either make or break it for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people will be like so intrigued with this game, and all of a sudden they see it's built on a gacha, and they're like, no, I'm not touching this game, which is completely understandable, because this game is a pay-to-win game. If you want to pull for characters, you spend money. If you want to make your character stronger, guess what? You also have to spend money. If you want to grind faster and not have to waste time and wait, guess what? You also have to spend money. So spending money is basically how you're able to progress faster in this game, make yourself stronger, do the most damage, and considering there is PvP in this game, it is really a pay-to-win game. So people who are a little bit turned off by that, I completely understand why you would not want to be playing this game. I personally find gacha to be fun. I like the aspect of pulling for characters. I do highly recommend against spending money on these kinds of games, and if you do spend money, please make sure that you're not spending a lot, and please make sure that you have enough money to just kind of toss it away and forget about it and not have to worry about this, because this is money that you will not be making in return on your investment back from. Other than that, getting out of the way, I do think the gacha is very fine. The pity is at 80, which is very respectable. people. You have matrices where you get 1 every 40, which is also very respectable. The rates are extremely low, but they're not like very, very, very bad. I've seen people get multiple SSRs in pools before, so it has happened to a few people, and even some of my friends have had that happen to them. So the rates are not terrible. You are guaranteed characters, and the limited banners, you are also on a 50-50. So if you lose the character the first time, the second time you're guaranteed that character, just like Genshin Impact as well. So honestly, Gacha system overall is not great. Obviously, Gacha itself is a very, very bad practice, and it really should have not existed in the first place. But oh well, it's all up to the consumer on what they want to see from the game. And with all that being said, I'm going to be giving a conclusion to Tower of Fantasy with a score of an 8.1 out of 10. I think this game is absolutely amazingly fun, and people who are loving Genshin Impact should definitely give this game a tryout. I think it is 100% worth your time. Maybe you might not like it, maybe it might not be your cup of tea, but I would recommend giving it a shot if you are into those kind of MMO games. Gacha games do immediately turn people away, even if the game is good, so I can understand why even people would see all of this, they see an 8.1, and then they still don't play because it's a gacha. I completely get it, don't worry, I believe you. The story, once again, is decent at best. A 6 out of 10 on the story. The story is not that good. It does pick up later on, and that's where things start to get interesting, but it is still finicky here and there. The gameplay, of course, is where this game will be shining. The social aspect, as well as the gameplay and the multiplayer, that's where this game really shines. The animations are beautiful. The open world is absolutely gorgeous. The bosses are fun to fight. You have so much stuff you can do. You can chat with people. You can meet new people. It is absolutely fun, and multiplayer is definitely what saves this game. All the weapons are unique. All the weapons feel different, and I definitely can see the potential of this game. So I'm going to be going with an 8.1 out of 10. I have decided between a 7.9 and an 8.1, but I decided to go for an 8.1 because I feel like the multiplayer really does save this game and make it shine a lot, and I really do think a lot of people should try this out. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed this review. Let me know down in the comment section below what you would rate this game out of 10, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye everyone.